Hey, what's up guys, it's CalebBeg01 and thank you for joining me again for one of my random horror reviews, getting straight into today's episode and today's film, which is a movie from 2017 titled Wish Upon. Now this is a movie I had seen once before, but it had been a while since I last checked it out. I did put it on again this morning just to revisit the film and re-familiarise myself with it. This was one that was pretty unpopular from the year it came out, as I said, 2017. It came out to mediocre reviews at best, but majority of people were sort of against this one. But as I said, I felt like rewatching something this morning. I was going through my shelf, saw it sticking out and thought, why not? Let's check this one out again. So getting into the story for Wish Upon, it is your typical be careful what you wish for storyline. It's nothing new. It's really something that we have seen plenty of times before. We have our lead played by Joey King, so a teenage girl, quite unpopular in school. She has a small group of friends. It's the setup that all these films really have. However, she comes across a Chinese wishing box, which is actually one of the cooler elements to this movie, learning the backstory of the box and what it can do. And she starts making wishes to change her life around and change up her situation. However, every time she makes a wish into this box, the box wants something in return, and what it wants in return normally comes in the form of a life. So, as I said, it's not a very unique story. It's got a very familiar setup that we've seen for these kind of films, but let's get into my review of Wish Upon now. So straight off the bat, this is one of those horror movies that is mainly targeted towards a teenage audience and crowd. So it does have lots of that petty, stupid, shallow drama bullshit thrown in there. So if you're not a big fan of those kinds of movies, like myself, majority of the time, a lot of the dialogue and scenes are going to be quite hard to sit through, if I'm being honest, because majority of the time it just comes across as being cringy, It has lots of typical tropes of modern teen horror movies in this. Social media and phone-obsessed characters. Shit is going down. You would not be filming at this point, but they're filming it. It's like, I need to put it on social media. It's completely fucking stupid. As I did mention, just tons of petty teen drama bullshit thrown in there, where it gets to a certain point where you're like, does it even really matter? It just feels like whoever wrote the script for this movie is patting themselves on the back going, yes, this is what teenagers want to see. This will put them on the edge of their seat. Which is really fucking stupid. And as I said, you see it too much in these movies. It's just purely in there to get teenagers into theaters to check out these movies, when really you could be doing a lot more deeper stuff with the story. But going on from that as well, a lot of the consequences from the wishes in this movie, whenever there's a horror movie where it's, be careful what you wish for, you want the fallout of the wishes to be really fucked up and turn whoever made the wishes on their head, really freak them out. But a lot of the consequences from the wishes made in this movie is just more detrimental to younger generations. It feels really stupid. It's like, oh no, I woke up looking ugly, or oh, I'm unpopular. It's like, it really feels shallow and it's kind of stupid. But with these dumb teen horror movies, they are somewhat likable to a certain extent. I think it's a little bit of charm. It all comes down to almost being so bad it's good. If you can get into the right mindset, like I found myself kind of in, there's some scenes that will make you chuckle just because it is so cringy or stupid. Don't get me wrong, by any means this isn't a great movie, but as I said, if you can, have a few drinks or put it on in the background, just, look at it with not such a critical eye, it's sort of stupid fun in a way. Now, I do also want to bring up Joey King, who is our lead actress in this film. Now, when it comes to modern horror movie actresses, I feel like she completely flies under the radar. I rarely hear anybody mention her name, which is especially weird because of how many modern horror movies she's actually been in. Now, by all means, that's not me saying that she's on the top tier for actresses that could be modern day scream queens. I feel like if you were to have that conversation, I would say Anya Taylor-Joy, Last Night in Soho, The Witch, The Menu. I thought she is great in all of those movies. I feel like Jenna Ortega is also in the conversation as of late. Scream 5, X. I think the Wednesday series definitely helped her out as well. And if you were to round off the top three, I guess I would say Mia Goth also. A lot of people would point to Ty West and his X trilogy, but even before that, if you've ever seen the movie Cure for Wellness, I think she's great. But getting back on topic, I wouldn't say that Joey King is quite on their tier level yet, not quite at their caliber. However, I'd just like to see her get a little more appreciation. I just feel like she has sort of had missed opportunities with the scripts that she's been given to lead. She leads in Wish Upon. It's not great. She was the lead in Slender Man. Also not a great movie. She kind of got her start in The Conjuring, but to be fair, that was not a leading role. So I'd just like to see her get a good leading role in a horror movie and then see what people's opinion of her are, because I feel like she is a good actress, just, as I said, maybe not the best opportunities. Even her character in this one, I mean, it's not an overly likable character, unfortunately. She has the typical setup where, she's an unpopular girl, an outcast, she gets bullied, gets this new sense of power because of the Chinese wish box that she comes across. And as I was saying, she gets bullied, the people around her are pieces of shit, and they are worse people than her, but she's no angel either. As I said, she's not overly likable. And then, even towards the end of the movie, it really feels like she has not learnt a lesson, because at points she is still a piece of shit. So, that's sort of against the point of her acting, but, I just feel like she hasn't really been given a great lead role, and I'd love to hear what people's opinion of her is if she does eventually land a good leading role in a horror movie. Now, getting back on track with my thoughts of the story, as I mentioned earlier, by all means, this isn't a good movie, but if you can get into the right state of mind, sort of switch your brain off, not look at it so critically, you can have some fun with this one and maybe have a good time. There is plenty of cringy dialogue, stupid plot points, things to make fun of and laugh at, and, just sort of take some weight off your shoulders. It does almost fall into the category of so good it's bad for the first 2 acts of this movie. But by the time we reached the closing 30 minutes, I felt like I was checking out. I felt burnt out, and I felt it just growing thin. It started to lose its novelty in a way, it started to lose its charm of being so bad it's good, and it just got to the point where I'm sitting there going, why does this movie run for an hour and 40, I think it does, something like that. It's like it runs way too long, and as I said, it loses its charm and its effect, which is unfortunate. But to close off on this movie, I mean, when there's scenes where characters are saying, oh, haters gonna hate, or, cringy teenage shit like that, our lead breaks down the definition of smegma in front of the whole school and then acts like a bad bitch and like she completely roasted somebody. It's bad, you can tell that it's cringy, the dialogue doesn't work, there's lots of scenes that just feel out of place, it has its problems, but as I said, I don't know, it depends on your thoughts on these teenage modern horror movies and if you can sit through them, but I think a fair rating for this one is going to be 3.5 for myself. I'm not going to be returning to it anytime soon, but for a rewatch, it wasn't regrettable, but as I said, I think a fair rating for this one is 3.5 out of 10. Now, as I was setting up this movie this morning and putting the disc in and what have you, I started thinking to myself, have we ever truly had a really good be careful what you wish for storyline in horror movies? I'm sure we have. I'm sure I'm just drawing a blank. The closest thing that I could think of was The Craft, but that is such a small aspect to that movie because it has so many layers, but of course it does have some scenes where it comes down to characters going, oh, be careful what you wish for with their powers and whatever. But, I was thinking, have we truly ever had a really good be careful what you wish for storyline in horror movies? As I said, I'm sure I'm drawing a blank, but if you can think of one, let me know in the comments below. If you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But thank you for joining me again for another one of my random horror reviews. I'd really appreciate it, guys, if you like the video or put some comments below or share or whatever. just to help to support my channel. I really appreciate everyone who comes to my channel and subscribes if they like the content. If you are subscribed, think about hitting the bell icon, because I've noticed maybe a lot of my subscribers aren't getting notifications that new content's coming out, and I just want you guys to be on top of it if that's your thing. But thank you for joining me again, guys, for another one of my random horror reviews. Hopefully we'll have some more content coming your way soon, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.